This show is sponsored by Alicia's Pillows and Things. Check out the Facebook page, Alicia's Pillows and Things, where you will find home decor you will not be able to resist at prices anybody can afford. Check out the pillows and stools of your favorite sports teams. Maybe you want a set of your kid's favorite cartoon or movie character. You can also get full body and neck pillows as well. Log on to ngscsports.com and go to the Alicia's Pillows and Things tab on the homepage to complete your order. It makes a great gift for Christmas at an affordable price. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
People only knew how hard it was to be a maze ball.
It's the first world problems that we've come to expect, no less from here on the Foreign Affair podcast.
It literally is first world problems.
Episode 286. It is. It is unfortunate. So unfortunate for the 6-time winners of Europe.
6-time champions of Europe, your Liverpool Mighty Reds. There you go, Ed.
I did it.
There's your drop. We did it early.
There you go. Welcome, everyone. I am Edward Green, joined in studio by McCall and Crime. I'm calling it a studio. Fuck you. Joined in studio by McCall and Crime, Wes Bradshaw, and...
Basically, it's a studio.
It is, really, if you think about it. And, of course, because it is late October and we're recording a podcast, it's Game 7 of the World Series night.
Damn right it is.
Because, of course, it is. It always is with us, apparently. So, welcome.
Usually we livecast that, but our studio is not television outfitted.
Yeah,
yet, so.
I might put my telephone on.
Oh.
The miracles of the internet. So we won't be talking too much about the World Series tonight, if I can get my words out. But what we will be talking about, of course, is the Premier League. Big weekend of matches coming from there. We'll also have the League Cup. That did happen. Round of 16.
The biggest one of them all.
Yes, the one where we still don't say the sponsor name, because who wants to be the second best energy drink in Thailand? Well, of course, I have news and notes. Big stories coming out from there, as well as some injury news. And if you thought, as sad as last week's news and notes was, oh baby, you cannot prepare to imagine how happy this news and notes will be ending. Don't worry, folks, it'll be glorious. We'll also have a watch for and so Elite Raw this week. Are we getting...
Sure. Hey, at the time that you folks are probably listening to this, at least Crown Jewel's probably going on.
Hey, there you go.
Crown Jewel starts at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday.
Saudi Arabia's still a thing.
So I guess we're okay with the killing of journalists again. I can't figure. I don't know what our.
It was
policy
me.
is.
It was always me.
I don't know what our foreign policy is anymore.
Yeah.
You know, quaint religious leaders apparently lead ISIS and get fantastic headlines in the Washington Post.
The Middle East is a very simple thing.
Oh, man, it's good to be a gangster.
Especially for someone of our intelligence. So, we'll have a little bit of that. Yeah. But let's dive right then into the Premier League, and what a way to start it off. For the first time since Southampton was drubbed 8-0 in the Premier League, have we seen a road team win this hard in the Premier League?
Well, Southampton did the drubbing on Sunderland.
I thought the last away one.
Oh, okay. Now maybe it wasn't away.
I think that was it. I think the last away drubbing was an 8-0 that happened at St. Mary's.
You might be going back further than me. I know Southampton beat Sunderland.
Yes, because Sunderland made a catty little tweet after this match about it. They did the Spider-Man, No, you.
They did. They did.
It's great.
Either way, folks, it doesn't happen every day.
No, it does not. Southampton's certainly praying it doesn't. Because Leicester City beat them senseless 9-0. Ayoze Perez with a hat trick. Jamie Vardy with a hat trick. James Maddison scored for fun, as well as Yuri Tielemans and Ben Chilwell even scored. So that's the kind of day it was, folks. Ben Chilwell.
Yeah, we were talking about me getting FIFA a little earlier downstairs. That is so a FIFA match.
That's you put it on beginner and just want to feel good about yourself.
It's like, let me get used to these controls.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wait, I know this shit. Wham, 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 wham.
And then you put it on hard, and Southampton doesn't stay in the league. I'm sorry, that's mean. We can talk about some other matches.
By the way, their next 2 matches are both against Manchester City.
It's not because the tweet was like, "Don't worry, lads, throw it out the window, scrap it out. Who we got next week?"
Oh,
City
crap.
and City.
City and City.
It's not great. It didn't go horrible for them in the League Cup, which we'll get to.
Could be aggregates.
Yeah.
Could end up aggregate bad ones.
Other matches, including Manchester City, they beat Aston Villa 3-0. 3 second-half goals was the difference in there after things got a little bit nervy for the citizens, but things are starting to maybe come around for them. West Ham United and Sheffield United draw 1-1. Robert Snodgrass with the goal for West Ham, and Lys Mousset. He's always scoring for fun now after getting on the board against Arsenal, getting the draw there in the 70th minute against West Ham.
And have you heard any about where the bad blood between Sheffield and West Ham comes in?
No, I haven't.
So I want to say, folks, this is off the top of my head. I'm thinking 2006.
Don't fact check this podcast.
That season, that was the season that West Ham signed these 2 young Argentinian players named Javier Mascherano and Carlos Tevez. Everybody's like, how the hell did these guys end up here? They're supposed to go to like Barcelona or something. How'd they end up here? Turns out they find out like during the season that, this was all extremely illegal, third-party ownership, all this shit. And controversially, West Ham has only assessed a financial penalty, no point penalties. And late in the season, who fires them to safety in the relegation battle? But Carlos Tevez at the expense of the 18th place team, Sheffield United. Where on the final day of the season, West Ham had to go to Old Trafford and win, and Carlos Tevez scored for a 1-0 victory. Obviously, that was the day Sheffield went down. They were later awarded nearly £26 million in damages by a court, but were not.
Yeah, they didn't get back up.
They didn't get back up, and they finally just got back up. But they were furious. There was no points taken off of West Ham for what they did, and still a lot of anger there. So they've been waiting for a long time to get a chance to get back at West Ham United.
I remember seeing that was the headline of one of the Athletic articles.
Very good article. That's exactly. I read that article. Very good. And then the MIB was talking about it, but very good article in the Athletic. If you go back and check that out.
I will be going back and checking that one out. That is fascinating. So they get a little bit of revenge. They do get a point on the road, so that is big for them. Again, another Bournemouth match as Yuri Gurriel has just hit a solo home run in the bottom of the second. Astros now lead the Nationals 1-0. Bournemouth, that's more runs than Bournemouth and Watford put in goals. So, good on you guys. Brighton and Hove beats Everton 3-2. No. Nothing there.
The delicious Digne. The Digne winner.
The second own goal of the match. One going for Everton, this one going against them.
So Everton.
And Lucas Digne putting it in his own net in the 94th minute to give Brighton and Hove all 3 points. And Wes, we don't have to talk too much, but I mean, this is ahead of their match against a similarly struggling, but I think for different reasons, Tottenham this weekend. Is Everton going into this weekend's match? Everton seem to sort of be at a crossroads, and they've spent so much money over the last few years. Currently in the table, sitting 16th. At some point, do they just say, "Okay, this is not working. Blow it up and let's try something else"?
Well, when you get those big money, deep pocket new owners, there is a recipe for them wanting immediate success. Because, of course, they've seen it happen with PSG. Manchester City, obviously, in the Premier League is the big one that pops up to everyone.
Right.
And they want that kind of success. The thing is, the Premier League, I think right now, the Premier League, it's so difficult to try to spin your way up, especially with some of the restrictions that have been put on there. The fact that, you know, when City did it, it was a different time and a different place. And now City are so dominant, Liverpool are so dominant, these other teams are so dominant that they're having these real growing pains with the money. And now it's going to come down to how long are they... how long are they interested in pumping this big time money? We've seen that happen before, where owners come in with, we're going to pump money into the club, we're going to make this club, and when things don't go their way within a few years, we're stepping on. Randy Lerner was a big one with that.
Newcastle wishes their owner would do it.
And Aston Villa, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see with Everton, because at Everton... Everton have kind of gotten stuck in this this cycle where they want to spend big to bring in big time players, but they're getting more of those second to third tier players. They're not getting the top guys that are on the market.
They're paying City prices for guys that wouldn't be going to City probably anyway.
Or that City are selling.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, obviously, oh, Jesus. What's my midfielder's name?
Oh, yes. Fabian Delph.
Fabian Delph? Obviously. Hey. He was, great pickup. Oh, we got him for City. It's like...
It's Fabian Delph.
City was ready to get rid of him. So, for Everton, Everton want to eat at the big boy table.
Yeah.
But it's not that they don't have the money to get to the big boy table. It's that just aren't any spaces up there, and the ones who are there are like, shit, no, we're not letting you in. You've got to almost be Leicester and crash the party.
Yeah.
But, where Leicester and, say, Wolves and some of these teams have done it more with, say, scouting and early planning, Everton just seemed to be trying to, let's get in there. Oh,
they tried to take some shortcuts on the way to there.
Theo! Let's get Theo! So, Everton are just not taking the time to build an infrastructure. Everton are just trying to go out and buy it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Major League Baseball approach almost. It's kind of like they want a Real Madrid Galacticos project, but the best guy they can get is like Lucas Digne. We see how that works. Lucas Digne, who came in and talked about how he rejected Liverpool and because he wanted to come to a place to win trophies. So okay. Good on you, mate.
Good try.
How's that looking?
Good try, good effort. Good try, good effort. Guys.
Hey.
Our long national nightmare is over. We can put down our pitchforks. We can put down our pens for the think pieces we were getting ready to write. Don't worry, guys. It's okay. Chelsea 4, Burnley 2, Christian Pulisic with the hat trick.
Lamps loves America. He's a Yankee Doodle lamp.
So I can stop.
And a perfect hat trick at that.
Yeah.
Right foot, left foot, head.
Yeah.
All to make it 3-0. He was absolutely stunning on the day.
Yeah. Look, I'm memeing, obviously. But not to take anything away from Pulisic. He had a great day.
Absolutely.
And started to show why he may have been worth the 50+ million Chelsea spent on him. I think my frustration just comes from everybody who's been they've been frustrated at him not playing, and it's like, you gotta. What do you like to say, Wes? What do you like to say with the young kids? What do you gotta do?
You gotta blow them in, mate.
Thank you. That's what you gotta do. I mean, and look, we've made a little fun of Frank Lampard, but at the same token, Frank Lampard seems to know what he's doing so far with his Chelsea club.
Seems to be doing a great job.
There you go. So I just think that we had so many pieces being written and talked about why isn't Christian Pulisic starting? And it's like, because at this very moment, he doesn't trust him, and through work effort and training, he's finally shown that now I'm ready. Now I'm at a Chelsea starting 11 level, and he gave him the start, and he produced. That's all that is to it.
Well, not only that, but if you look at Chelsea's form recently, Frank's obviously been making some good decisions.
Yeah.
Just because if Chelsea were out there and were impotent and not scoring and were languishing in the mid-table. Say Manchester United style. Then you could be like, wait a minute, you've got this shiny object sitting over on the bench you pay all this money for, why aren't you playing him? But when it's Mason Mount and Tammy and the other guys who he's picking are getting the job done, at the end of the day, Frank Lampard is in a results-based business.
Right.
It's not, build the American brand. Once again, that's a Manchester United thing. For Frank at Chelsea, it is go and win matches and get points on the board. So he's going with guys that it's not even so much to say he doesn't trust Pulisic, but it's just, he hasn't had the chance to see him do much yet. So why am I going to force him in at the expense of someone else who's doing a good job?
And we see this at other clubs. We're seeing this at Tottenham right now as, granted, it was more because of injuries, but we're seeing Pochettino start to slowly put in Giovanni Lo Celso and Tengue Ndombele, and then eventually, I imagine, because since he's finally off being injured, Ryan Sessegnon's also going to start in. But you can't just say, okay, you're here, we spent a bunch of money on you, go play. It does not work like that.
Well, don't forget all those busts that Liverpool signed.
Exactly.
That Fabinho guy.
Naby Keita is terrible.
That Andy Robertson, that Naby Keita. God, those guys are crap. How dare, they can't come in and play. They're crap. Well, Jurgen Klopp he said, we got to let them get acclimated to being here. He famously said about Fabinho, he said, he can't play our style yet. Why am I going to put him in there if he can't play our style? Fabinho didn't even debut till October. That worked out pretty well. He's pretty good.
Shocking.
After we'll talk about his man of the match performance this past week. Sometimes, folks, I'm going to give you guys a crazy insight here.
Oh, boy.
Sometimes these managers, contrary to those guys who sit behind keyboards, on their couch while they play their Call of Duty and watch the match, managers sometimes know what they're doing.
Not you, Sam Allardyce.
Not you, Sam. Not you, Ollie. Not you, Ollie.
But others. Others know what they're doing.
Others know what they're doing. So, especially early on, especially someone as young as Lampard is in his career, you kind of got to give him a benefit of the doubt of, you can't come in and try to force things on him.
Yeah.
You can't come in and try to force anything on these guys because they're doing what they do to keep their job. Well,
and that's one of the crazy things is, we talk about how young Pulisic is and him trying to break into Chelsea. This is Lampard's second year of managing, and he's managing one of the top clubs in the entire world. Now, granted, it's where he also played, so he has some sort of familiarity with it.
Trust, if he had played at Nottingham Forest only, he wouldn't have gotten this job.
Exactly. But, he is still learning his way through being a top-flight manager. So...
it is impressive because you're getting the Frank and the players kind of growing up together at this point.
Yeah.
And that does have a really interesting dynamic to see where it goes. The question with Frank, the question with these young players is now, especially what we were talking about, Liverpool's schedule a little before, at the beginning of the show, when December gets here and when January's here and those fixtures are coming hard and heavy and you've still got Champions League and then the FA Cup starting. Don't have to worry about the League Cup anymore. Yeah. But, when those fixtures are coming, bam, 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 bam. Plus those players now have about 4 hard months under their belts of playing. How are they going to physically respond? And how's Frank going to respond when he's got to juggle that squad? Right. And also if he starts getting, say, a rash of injuries, how are they going to respond? But right now, someone like Pulisic starting to emerge. And they've had emergence from a lot of good young players. Batshuayi scored today, actually.
He's back.
He's back. Yeah,
he's back. Batshuayi.
Oh, yeah, he does play for them. That can only help Chelsea go into the future because that point of the year, you're going to have bodies. Yeah. So I think Chelsea are showing they're in a good spot. I still expect we're going to see a Chelsea swoon before this year's out sometime. I think they are going to level out a little bit, but I still see them as a Champions League level team right now.
Absolutely, I think a lot of good going on right now at Chelsea, and I do agree with you at some point. I mean, it even happened to them last year, and that was in some ways a better squad, in some ways maybe not so much, but it
was a more name recognizable, name worthy.
Yes,
squad.
It was.
We'll give them that.
So we'll see though if this group ends up being a little bit better at the end of the day. Newcastle, they thought they had a win. They were wrong. They did not get a win. Wolves spoiled the show in the 73rd minute and picked up a 1-1 draw at St. James Park. So good on you, Wolves. Arsenal also thought they were going to get all 3 points for the first of 2 times this week.
Yes, Piers Morgan, he still believes they did get all 3 points.
VAR is terrible. But maybe one of the most talked about parts of the match was obviously the VAR, which, again, we're still not going to the monitors. Still. It's just not going to happen this year, folks. Nope. After Arsenal scored 2 goals in the first 10 minutes against Palace, Palace fought all the way back and through Jordan Ayew in the 52nd minute, got to level terms. Arsenal thought they had a winner. It was ruled out due to VAR. And then at the very end, with Palace, with one last chance on the break, Marco Guendouzi made what could charitably be described as a professional foul. Charitably a professional foul. Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit more about Arsenal later on in news and notes. But I do want to talk about, Wes, what are your impressions? Because I guess this is a good spot to bring up VAR. And now we are 10 matches into the season. I believe 10 matches into the season. 10 matches into the season of Premier League using VAR. Why is it so bad?
Because the Premier League, to me, the Premier League is so damn... What's the word I'm looking for here? They're just so arrogant about the usage of it because they're at a point, the Premier League does not want to, quote, they feel it, quote, shows up their referees.
Then why have it in the first place?
Exactly. It's not video refereeing, it's video assisted refereeing. They're assisting.
That's what the A is for.
They're giving you the chance to, hey, let's just take another look at it and make sure we got this right. Folks, I mean, we've known, this isn't a new thing. Oh, the refs stink. They've sucked forever, according to how your result is.
Yes.
They've sucked forever. In the, guess what? In the 50s, they sucked. In the 60s, they sucked. In the 70s, they sucked. In the 80s and the 90s. And I say they sucked in the fact that these were still the best ones in the world. It's just, I mean, the sport, it's not easy to officiate.
No. And it's only gotten harder.
Yes, I mean, it's just like professional football. What's the phrase? Bigger, faster, stronger.
Yep.
Guess what? It's happening on the foot as well. You know, these guys now will look like physical freaks compared to the giants of Shankly's side. I brought in this big rod block. I brought in this giant Ron Yeats. He's 6'1". He was huge in like 1965. But that's just not how it is anymore. Bigger, faster, stronger. And that means that the officials, the game is faster for them. You've got this system in place. You've got a system that, if used properly, can work. Nothing's going to work 100% of the time. World Series last night.
Yeah.
It's what you think.
Oof.
It's what you think. But, well, and that one is even weird because that wasn't...
they weren't allowed to.
Yeah, that was horrendous communication.
That was really bad. Don't follow that example.
Yeah, that's baseball. Just do baseball. But, we've seen in baseball, we've seen in football, we've seen in football, we've seen in basketball with replays. We don't watch it, but if properly used, replay gets the call right. It's not a perfect system. What would be great? What would be absolutely great is if it was very streamlined and that guy in the booth or in London or in New York, whoever's watching, they can just say, hey, you got this wrong, this should be this. All right, and let's go.
Yeah.
That's not how it works, unfortunately. So yes, there is a stoppage in game action. Here's my deal, man. If you're going to stop it, if it's there, use it effectively.
Yes.
Don't suck. I mean, don't make us have to sit there and wait and then just get it wrong because you're like, whatever, I'm not fixing it. I'm not changing it because there's no way I'm wrong. When we at home just watched half a dozen angles where you're wrong.
The problem is, if you're worried about showing up your officials, what's worse? Showing up your officials and getting the call right, or leaving the call wrong and all the fans get mad at the official anyway.
And making them look like arrogant assholes.
Yes. It's so counterproductive. I don't understand.
But for some reason, the Premier League cannot get this shit through their minds. Every other league in Europe, every other league that's using VAR is using it more effectively than the Premier League.
Yes.
And there's just no other way to say it.
That's what's so frustrating.
And it is frustrating because you just don't... I mean, it is literally, when they throw those dice, it is a complete crapshoot. You know, you're sitting there, you're like, well, I can see it. I don't know what the hell they're going to call though. I mean, I can clearly see, you know, he was offside. I can clearly see he kicked the shit out of Divock Origi and he's laying dead in the middle of the field, but you let the play go on.
Yeah.
We can clearly see this shit's happening. But I don't know what you're going to call. So I'm just going to sit here and wait, and I'm going to react good or bad. That's how I'm going to react. Is it good for me? It's not, well, you know what, they got the right call. Sucks, I went against my team, but they got the right call. No, it's, you know, I might know what the right call is, but I don't trust you to make it.
Yeah.
So if it goes against me, I'm just going to absolutely lose my shit here. So, VAR's great when it goes for you. It's hell on earth when it goes against you, and somewhere in between lies the truth.
Somewhere in between lies the truth how good Manchester United is. They beat Norwich 3-1. We said Norwich.
Still not.
Norwich is going to ship some goals. They did here. And that's what they did. Unfortunately, no miracle for them this time. Only one goal from Onel Hernandez in the closing moments to put a cap on Norwich's outing. And then our final match is the AFA Podcast Derby. The Derby! Which started off so well-ish, kind of. And then,
you know what happened.
Yeah.
You scored too soon.
I know. I told you. It's going to be fine. Tottenham go up 1-0 on Liverpool within the first 2 minutes of play.
Extremely deserved.
Yes. And, you know, when you can break down a defense with one of the best defenders in the world in Dejan Lovren, you deserve to
break down defense with the best defensive player in the world and Virgil van Dijk.
Yes. You deserve to go up 1-0 through Harry Kane. What a poacher. Just putting that one in. And then Tottenham then spent the next 50 minutes-ish defending for their lives. Paulo Gazzaniga doing everything he could to keep the match at 1-0, showing why there is some faith that he could be eventually Hugo Lloris's understudy, or eventual successor, I should say. And then finally the dam broke as Jordan Henderson scored in the 52nd minute for Liverpool, followed by the Serge Aurier penalty everyone knew was coming in the 75th minute, which Mo Salah, not James Milner, converted for Liverpool in the 75th minute. Tottenham did have a few chances late on to maybe pull back an equalizer, but could not get it to come through. All in all, Wes, it seems like this is a match where both teams almost kind of leave happy. Liverpool, obviously, they come back from giving up a very early goal, look dominant throughout the rest of the match in terms of possession and being able to get the shots they want to, finally pulling through with the win. For Tottenham, after what has been a very rough start to the season, it seems like they're starting to finally settling on, okay, we know it works, and after this match, we also sort of know what doesn't work. And depending on where things go from here, it looks like Ndombele is going to continue to be, as long as he continues in his fitness, he's going to continue to be strong. He came on and was a positive influence on the game for Tottenham for the final, about, I believe, half hour he was on. We saw Giovanni Lo Celso come on. He was also quite good for his brief cameo. So Tottenham, even in a loss, I think can start to take positives in that this should have been potentially a much wider scoreline. But Gazzaniga doing well and the team pushing forward and getting that opening goal and making Liverpool come out and play them in sort of a reverse version of the Champions League final from a few months ago showed that maybe Tottenham isn't that far away from getting back into that top 6 area that their talent level suggests they should be at.
I just want to know when Gazzaniga's gonna get some more caps for Argentina. Sweet Jesus,
he's pretty good.
I had heard the name Paulo Gazzaniga before. I'm not gonna lie, I ain't never seen Paulo Gazzaniga play.
Didn't really play that much.
Holy Jesus! I mean, really, we used to have kind of this running joke. Liverpool scored 3, should have scored 6.
Yeah.
Liverpool scored 2, literally should have scored 7.
Yes.
They were all over Tottenham for most of this match. At the end of the day, Liverpool 100% deserved their 3 points. But they also probably deserved another 5 goals. Gazzaniga, to borrow from a hockey term, he stood on his head. He was fantastic. That double save he made, I believe it was Salah and Firmino.
I think so.
Holy shit, man. I mean, that's like Allison level stuff from last year. That's like Allison Napoli save level. They were fantastic for Tottenham. We joke about scoring too early. I really think, not that you give back a goal. You'll never give the goal back, don't get me wrong, because you never know if another one's coming. But I think at that point, I would have been a little more like, oh, shit, man, what's happening here? For me, they score 47 seconds. I'm like, okay, it's Anfield. We'll be okay. We'll get this back. Everything will be fine.
Right.
And Tottenham made him work for it, don't get me wrong. And
Son had a chance to make it 2-0.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. That said, I think that I think he's getting a little undue stick from that. That angle was brutal.
It was very tough.
The fact that he got that angle is still magnificent. That was a fantastic play by him. Some poor defending, but a fantastic play by him just to get himself into that position. And Liverpool were fortunate to not go down 2-0. But at the end of the day, Liverpool very, very deserved winners. Jordan Henderson scoring his first goal at Anfield since 2015. You kind of have this feeling when it happens, like, well, of course it's Jordan Henderson. Because that's just, that's just how Spurs shit is going in 2019. On the road, it's like, of course it'd be the guy who hadn't scored a fucking goal here in 4 years. Of course he's going to come and score. And really a very well-taken goal from Henderson. Brought it down on the backside where Tottenham defensively just completely switched off. I think a lot of people were thinking there was going to be a foul call in the box on Firmino getting taken down, which I didn't think was a foul. But it kind of looked like Tottenham switched off a little at the moment. There's Jordan Henderson coming back post with nobody looking at him.
Right.
Slots a nice shot home. And then, like you said, the Serge Aurier, the inevitable penalty that Aurier was going to give up. Couldn't have happened outside the box. No. Serge Aurier is going to make sure it's right there in the box. If you really want to get picky, you can say, well, Gazzaniga should have come out for that ball. But at the same time, you trust your defenders are going to do what they're supposed to do there. 50-50, he should have come out, should have stayed. I'm not going to put a thing in the world on Gazzaniga for that.
He had too good of a match. Blame him for that.
You can't blame him for that one stinking bit. And it did look like on the penalty, maybe he was thinking Mo was going to try to throw a Panenka at him because he just kind of froze on the penalty. But, penalties are crapshoots.
Yeah.
You can't blame unless it literally hits him in the hands and goes in because his wrist wasn't strong for it.
He made a read and it was wrong.
He made a read, yeah. I mean, that's all it is. It's just trying to make a read.
Yeah.
Liverpool in the day, after giving up that early goal and take away one or two little opportunities that Tottenham had, man, Liverpool were good, especially at the back. Fabinho was my man of the match, and I believe he was named player of the match. I mean, he was like a freaking vacuum cleaner, man. Anything that came near him, he was sucking up. And then just the one thing about Fabinho that makes him so good, he is that midfield destroyer. But then he turns around and he freaking passes like Beckham. I mean, the guy can drop a pass on a dime in 60 yards, where, a lot of those midfield destroyers, granted, Jocko, basically can't destroy much of anything. Yeah. They can only destroy
we might talk about him a little later.
Yeah, they can only destroy their careers at this point. But, Fabinho can throw in that hard tackle and then turn around, take the ball, and look for one of the front three screaming down the field somewhere. Right. He's very good at that. Van Dijk had kind of that switch-off moment for that first goal. Mm-hmm. After that, he was fantastic. Allison didn't have much to do. Mm-hmm. Trent, going forward, was absolutely on his game on the day. And once again, that front three, they weren't free scoring, but it wasn't from lack of opportunities and good takes. Mm-hmm. It was from the fact that there was a goalkeeper once again standing on his head, or the old onion bag could have really been bulging out on the day. Good win for Liverpool. They do remain the lone unbeaten in the league.
Correct.
Through 10 matches, 9 wins, a draw, no losses. Has now been 2.5 years since a loss at Anfield in the league. I mean, they're flying right now. Liverpool are absolutely flying. And, I mean, the showdown early part of the season is going to be in 2 weeks when City come to town. Yeah. That's going to be massive, obviously. But for Liverpool on the day, once again, well-deserved victory.
Absolutely.
And for Tottenham, I'll give it to Tottenham. There were things to build off there. Mm-hmm. I think, unfortunately, Tottenham just ran into the wrong team at the wrong time. At the wrong place.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's why this weekend's matchup is going to be very important. Right. A very winnable game if they continue to build off that Liverpool matchup. As we get your weekend schedule started, it does start off with a potential banger at 8:30 a.m. this Saturday. Bournemouth versus Manchester United. Then at 11 a.m. you get Arsenal versus Wolves. Aston Villa hosting Liverpool. City gets Southampton. West Ham versus Newcastle, Sheffield versus Burnley, and Brighton and Hove versus Norwich. Then at 1:30 p.m. it's Watford looking to get their first win of the season against Chelsea.
I'm hoping as a Liverpool fan that we don't get caught looking ahead to City. You got such a huge matchup on the horizon, and we've seen Villa are, while not maybe a great team by any means, they are dangerous. Especially you get them at the Midlands.
Oh yeah.
Villa Park. I mean it's not going to be an easy place for Liverpool to walk into, especially when everybody's trying to take that scout nowadays. Everybody wants to be that first team to beat them this week.
Oh, absolutely. The pressure will be immense there, and we will see if Liverpool respond as they have been doing all season long. 9 a.m. on Sunday, it's Palace versus Leicester. That could be a good game.
Ooh, that could be. Palace, somehow we'll talk about the table. Yeah. Palace are there. Mm-hmm. We just...
Don't believe it. This is the start. This is the start. It was Arsenal, then Leicester, and then a couple more rough matches to come. So we'll see how they keep doing. And then 11:30 a.m. it is Everton hosting Tottenham. Very big match for both of these clubs this season. As we look at the table, as Wes mentioned, Liverpool still 6 up on City. Leicester and Chelsea just 2 behind the Citizens for that second spot. Arsenal and Palace round out the top 6. At the bottom of your heart, the relegation zone, Newcastle sits just outside with 9 points. Southampton just inside with 8. Then Norwich with 7 and Watford with 5. But Wes, as you mentioned, that Leicester-Palace match, that's 3rd versus 6th. And that is a huge, huge match in the table.
Right now, Palace were a team that we both seriously discussed as relegation fodder. Mm-hmm. How freaking important is it that they held on to Wilfried Zaha? Because that's where they would be without him right now. They would be in that relegation battle. And instead, they're a freaking battle for a European spot. But, they're here. Even if they're looking like Watford from last season where they had that start that kept them in the conversation. Mm-hmm. Anything to keep them out of a scrap is nice.
Oh, absolutely. So we will see how they continue to move on there. As we hit the League Cup, your results from the past 2 days.
The big one!
Oh, it's the big one for now. Leicester beats Burton Albion out of League One 3-1. Big win for those guys. Still playing the big guns as Tielemans and Madison both score for the Foxes. In the battle of League Two teams trying to get to the round of 8, Colchester emerges victorious over Crawley Town 3-1. So Colchester will be advancing.
I can nearly guarantee you who won't be getting them in the next round.
Yeah. Everton. sorry, Colchester's going to lose to Manchester City. Everton.
Yeah.
Everton beats Watford 2-0. Mason Holgate gets the eventual winner there. As Charleston also finds a score sheet in stoppage time.
You know one of two teams we will beat. You just said one of them.
We need United.
They're United, no damn doubt.
Manchester City does beat Southampton 3-1, so not 9-0 for the Saints there. Aguero with the brace there. Oxford United in a League One showdown beats Sunderland 1-1, 4-2 on penalties. Sunderland continuing their downward trend. Aston Villa gets past Wolves in a mild upset 2-1 against Premier League teams. As Wes mentioned earlier, Villa Park, no joke, even in the League Cup, and Villa does get the win there. And then United beats Chelsea 2-1. Marcus Rashford with the brace there.
See that free kick? Holy Jesus Christ.
Lionel Messi-esque.
I can't even figure out how the hell it physically did what it did. It looks like it had planed out and then just went, no, gonna go another foot higher. What the hell? What is this magic?
Freak of nature. And then lastly, in what I would describe as, of all the League Cup matches I have ever seen, this was certainly one of them. Liverpool, Arsenal, 5-5, 5-4 on penalties. Ceballos with the lone miss in the penalty shootout.
Oh, Madrid's Danny Ceballos.
There you go, Arsenal. You wanted him. Divock Origi, the reason this even went to penalties with his goal in the 94th minute. That's all he does. Big goal, Divock Origi, baby.
Big go, Diddy!
Also known goal in this one thanks to Shaq and Mustafi, which I saw that to start off.
Big goal, Shaq.
And I was like, Liverpool, 6 minutes in, they're going to cruise. And then before I knew it, it's 3-1 Arsenal. I'm like, well, I don't know what the hell is going on anymore. So Wes, from your very interesting vantage point of when you got to watch this game, tell us your thoughts on this incredible action.
Well, it all starts with this Liverpool team, which,
yes.
Granted, in the League Cup,
yeah,
you're not getting the Salah for me. Yeah. I mean, those guys weren't even on the bench. But you had this, okay, so you got like a 20-year-old goalkeeper who, I mean, the kid did what he could today. Yeah. You couldn't put all 5 goals on him by any means. You've got a kid at right back making his first appearance, Nico Williams,
a lot of kids.
Literally, when I read the starting lineup, it was just giving last name. Like, Williams. Who the fuck is Williams? And you know me, I'm good with Liverpool.
He's in it.
I'm in it. I know my Liverpool under 18s and my under 23s. I'm like, Williams. I'm like, it's just not clicking. I had to go, oh, it's Nico Williams. The fuck? I didn't even know he was practicing with the first team. Nico Williams, Joe Gomez. Mm-hmm. So there's a senior player. Yeah. Sepp Vandenberg, who we signed in the summer, who's this big, ginger, 17-year-old Dutchman who I think can be good. I do believe it's going to be about 5 years before he is good. He's not there yet. And then, let's keep the youth movement going with James Milner at left back, of course. So, okay, you got this little mix of youth and then you go midfield, it's like, oh shit, okay, Lallana, Keita, Ox. Mm-hmm. Pretty strong midfield. Yeah. Solid strong midfield, especially with what Ox and Catton have been doing recently. And then you go up front and you've got Brewster, Harvey Elliott, and Divock. And I'm like, shit. I'm like, this is a hell of a mix today. Well, then you take a look at that Arsenal team.
Yeah.
Arsenal started... Okay, let's not put it this way. Arsenal didn't start their first team, but they signed a lot of guys. They played a lot of guys who were signed to play for their first team. We'll put it that way. Welcome back, Mesut Ozil. You can get a run out in the League Cup.
Nice 60-minute cameo from him.
I mean, really, other than Martinelli up front and then the keeper, that was an Arsenal team that, you could see them put out on a Saturday.
And Zaka.
They wouldn't be happy about it. And Zaka, that's right.
Yeah.
A lot of fans wouldn't be happy about that team out there. But, Mustafi and Rob Holding were both good amount of money spent on them to come in. Kolasinac.
And Bellerin.
Coming back. Obviously, Ozil's cost them a few bucks.
Lucas
Torreira plays regularly.
Yeah. Maitland-Niles.
Maitland-Niles is kind of in and out with them. So... And then you tackle on Martinelli. Yeah. both these teams were playing some youth, but this is Arsenal's youth who's played a lot more than the Liverpool youth. I mean, you're literally looking at like second ever senior match for Harvey Elliott, Rhian Brewster. Vandenberg played like 3 minutes in his only match he's played so far. Nico Williams making his debut. Kelleher's played 1 match. So, I mean, this was insane. And at 3-1, I was totally like, okay.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I'd like to get another goal or two. Yeah. Just, hey, let's give them a fight going down. And holy shit, all shit broke loose in the second half with that one as they go up 4-2. And Martinelli, by the way, was fabulous in this match. And then, who was it? Joe Willock. Willock hit an absolute freaking pile driver for him. But then they say, here comes Big Divock doing what he does. Divok's first goal was just spectacular. The little turn and finish. His second goal, the equalizer at the end to make it 5-5, was spectacular. A cross in from Nico Williams, who quietly had a really good game as right back. When you look at his numbers at the end, most crosses, most tackles, most interceptions, most passes made.
It's a Liverpool thing.
The kid had a great match. But then, to me, the goal of the match, Willock and Oxlade-Chamberlain, holy shit. People are throwing a fit about Liverpool not signing anybody over the summer. It's like, I'm sitting here like, you can consider Oxlade-Chamberlain a new signing.
It's like Lucas Moura. It's fine.
I'm throwing that out there. He can be a new signing. And people will shut the fuck up. And, I mean, he has now, in multiple matches in the last few weeks, just hit freaking pile drivers from outside the box and scored. It is like a new sign for Liverpool. He gives them a dimension that midfield doesn't have, which is that long-range threat, which is only going to make them more dangerous with the front three going forward. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Jesus, what a shot. And for Liverpool, it was one of those, at the end of the day, no one was going to throw too big of a fit about losing, especially once you got the penalties.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, job done. Penalties are such a toss of the coin anyway. But then to get through it, and it's like, you kind of temper it a little bit because you're like, it's the League Cup. How excited are you? But when we do have some of these exciting youngsters, we want to see them play, and this is the only time they're going to play.
Right.
Now you might see Brewster show up. Brewster will be in the first team more as the year goes, I think, especially around Christmas coming up. But, Harvey Elliott does not need to be playing Premier League football yet. Obviously, Nico Williams doesn't. Vandenberg doesn't. Kelleher doesn't. If Keenan Kelleher is playing Premier League matches, we are up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. Because that means Allison and Adrian are dead. And I'm weeping in a ball in the corner somewhere. So I want to see these guys play. This is the way they're going to get to play maybe FA Cup third round. But it's great, man. Give them experience. Let them keep going. For Liverpool, long may they roll. So we have to play the first. So we had to play the big three, and then it's like, shit, let's get out of this.
And there is a chance that the second and third place teams are still in. So the teams left in are Villa, Everton, Leicester, Liverpool, City United, Oxford, and Colchester. We'll see. We're
going to get fucked by this draw.
So it's going to be...
We're either getting United at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
We're getting Leicester, or we're getting Everton at Goodison, or we're going to get Leicester. Go ahead and tell you.
Well, the draw will be taking place today when you guys are listening to this, unfortunately.
We won't get City because you got to give City an easy match.
Yeah, City's going to get Colchester.
Or Oxford.
Yeah.
Whatever. Maybe they'll give them a tougher one to go to Oxford.
Oh, man. Just wait. We're going to say all this, and it's going to be like a Manchester derby. It's not going to happen.
So it would be an easy one for them. We're the ones who can't go fucking away Old Trafford.
Oh, man. That's true. That is true. So there you go. That's your League Cup update. Hey, we always like to mention athletic articles because we love the Athletics so much. Wes mentioned the athletic article about the 2 West Ham signings back in the early 2000s. Go check that one out. I would like to put out one that came out today, simply titled "Sunderland Are a Lower League Club." We sort of mentioned it a little bit when we were talking about the League Cup results. A great article it's not super like, oh, this is what happened at Sunderland and this is what they need to do to fix it. No, it's more of a mood piece, which the Athletic has been doing a very good job of as well. And sort of like, what does it actually feel like right now at Sunderland, a club who staved off relegation so many times in the Premier League since we started this podcast and has since fallen very far down through the championship.
Just had to bring in David Moyes to complete it.
And now League One. And so go do check out that. George Calkin did a fantastic.
They just kind of introduced the football writing in there in the last few months. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, they are head and shoulders so much above everyone. It is just it is worth your it's worth the price of admission. I'll put it that way. And I mean, a lot of times you can find them where it's 20% off, something like that. But you basically come down to it. It's about $5 a month. You do have to pay it all up front. That kind of sucks. But you can even break that down. I remember growing up, used to see the Sally Struthers commercials. You can feed a child for 12 cents a day. And you're like, well, Dad, Mom, let's give the kids 12 cents a day. Well, that's not how it works. They're going to charge you for a year up front. That's like some money. So, damn. But it's all good. I mean, if you want to break it down like that, you're getting all that for maybe like 25 cents a day. That's big time.
Yeah, and not just that, but if you're interested in literally any other sport, fantastic journalism.
Oh yeah, the college football is fantastic. The baseball is fantastic.
I love the college basketball. But it's
all we care about.
It's true. It's so good. I imagine the NFL and NBA writing is also top.
I can imagine.
Hell.
Absolutely.
I was at work today. I read an article about they did an NHL article about trying to revamp the schedule to make less travel time for teams. That was fascinating. I love that article.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll even read the NBA and NFL articles because it's not so much I'm not reading the day-to-day stuff, but especially if they give me like a look at somebody or, hey, let's dive into this guy or, let's look at this controversial thing that happened 20 years ago. Man, I'm all into that. I love that stuff.
Lacazette may be out this year if they do not reach the Champions League by the end of the season. They don't obviously want to play Europa League. We had Granit Xhaka, as we alluded to a little bit earlier, in their match against Palace this weekend, was subbed off, was booed at by the crowd, which seems to be more... I mean, there's been frustration at Granit Xhaka, but this particular one seemed to have also stemmed from the fact that in a 2-2 game, you walking off the pitch when your team is trying to find a winner, the people are like, get the fuck off the pitch. We need to score. And there was a lot of frustration there and it just all came out. And then Xhaka telling his supporters to fuck off and allegedly leaving the match. Who knows? And this is your club's captain.
Well, he did go straight. He pulled off his shirt and went straight down the tunnel.
Torreira was crying. It's very weird.
Oh, God, I have to play for this.
And that is kind of the question is, this is still a team who's fifth in the table, and yet it seems like at some point the bottom just is going to fall out from under them. Do you think Arsenal gets it together, or is this the beginning of the end of Unai Emery and quite a few of the players in this Arsenal squad?
I was about to say, not only that, guess who this week just made the comment, I'd be interested in that job? Josie friggin' Mourinho! Because of course he's interested in that job.
Of course he is.
I think Unai's on a hot seat.
He has to be.
I saved a picture a little earlier to send you and didn't. But I will show it to you right now because this is absolutely great podcasting. But this is basically, we might have to put this somewhere. This is basically the Arsenal at the moment.
Yeah, it's true. This is fine, dog.
This is fine.
But it's Unai Emery.
This is fine. Everything's on fire. This is fine.
Yep.
Arsenal are way too talented.
Yes.
To be mired in the shit they're in. But at the same time, you can't blame it all on Unai Emery.
No. Certainly not.
But at the same time, Unai Emery is sitting over here doing shit. So you can't blame someone on him. The thought that Aubameyang and Lacazette and some other guys will be gone if they don't make the Champions League, which is a distinct possibility. We know one guy who won't be gone, and that's Mesut Ozil, who said, I fully plan to see out my contract. And they're like, well, no shit, you're making like £400,000 a week. Obviously. Of course you're going to see it out. You don't give a shit, you little asshole. And that, we were obviously doing this pod and everything when that came out, that they gave him that contract. And we just looked at each other like, what? It goes from a week ago to, we'd really like to get rid of him. So let's give him the biggest contract in the league. We're sitting here like, what are they doing? Yes! Sign it for longer! forever. This is so great, but why? As an actual like analytical thought, why did you do this? You had no one. I mean, no one wanted him. No one who could afford him wanted him. You completely bid against yourself. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we know you don't have anywhere to go, but we'll make you the highest paid player in the league. He's just like, okay.
That's cool. I'm going to not say no to that.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm not going to say no. But Arsenal have found themselves in such a tough position where they have some high-quality guys.
Mm-hmm. Certainly.
The problem is it's a completely unbalanced team. Mm-hmm. When you're actually like relying on David Luiz to do things like that don't involve like playing practical jokes, that tells you it's broken back there. But then they go and drop $70 million on Pepe,
who hasn't been great. Like, you gotta give the kid time, but
he's shown flashes. He'll be okay, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, people who are screaming at Liverpool, "Why'd you pay the $70 million for Pepe?" Liverpool's in here.
Why?
That's why.
Why would I do that?
So, I mean, Arsenal is just nothing is coming together right now. Mm-hmm. They once again, it's like you got Xhaka, you got Guendouzi, you got these guys who want you to make. They want to make you think, oh, we're tough, we're building tough. It's like, no, you're building undisciplined and stupid. Yeah. Tough is being able to go out and kind of bend the will of the match because you don't mind getting a little physical.
Right.
Problem is Arsenal's getting physical and it's actually screwing them over in these matches. Mm-hmm. It's a soap opera, this whole Granit Xhaka thing, where he was actually voted by the other players as the captain. Who does that? And then who publicly talks about it and does that?
Apparently he's a really good teammate. But I would suggest that a red card waiting to happen is not a good teammate. It's not just about making you feel good in training. It's about what you're doing on the pitch.
I mean, you look back at some of the guys who were, especially in the Premier League, who are like revered as captains. You look at Steven Gerrard. Mm-hmm. You look at Roy Keane. Mm-hmm. You look at Patrick Vieira, talking about Arsenal. Mm-hmm. Just those three guys in particular. Not everybody liked those guys on their team. Gerrard, people talk, they say Gerrard was a good teammate, but he was hard on people. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just he's everybody's buddy. Roy Keane was a straight-up dickhead, and still is. But you know what? He may be the best Premier League era captain of them all. Patrick Vieira, they were like terrified of him at Arsenal because he was just this freaking badass monster. He was also just an amazing player. And that's something with all three of those guys also had. They were all amazing players.
Yes.
Where Granit's, he's our buddy, we love him. It's like, I don't give a shit if you love him. Then go to his house and play bingo. Yeah. You need somebody who's going to snap somebody's neck, who's out there to break necks and try to win a football game. That's your captain. People give Jordan Henderson all this shit. Jordan Henderson's not a better player, really, than Granit Xhaka. I mean, I would put them on maybe even footballing ability terms. But Jordan Henderson goes out there and leads. And leads. He leads his team from the front. He leads by example. He's like, hey, guys, I'm not the best one here, but I'm going to do my job. And when it's time for me to step up as a captain, I'm going to step up as a captain. I'm going to do these things. Granit Xhaka, it's like, I go hit somebody now. Yeah! And it's like, no, go away. It's like, and then the people boo, and he's like,
That's how it went down.
I mean, that's exactly how it went down. Yeah. And now you've got your own fans booing the captain off the field because he's not their damn captain. I don't give a shit about him as a captain. They try to make it this good thing that, Lucas Torreira was crying on the sideline. Fuck! That makes you like even bigger pussies.
It's so bad.
I mean, this is a dumpster fire, and the only reason they're not in like 12th place is because everyone below maybe that top 4 in the Premier League can't figure out what the hell they want to do with their lives. I mean, the fact that Arsenal are above Tottenham should have Tottenham fans sitting there going, what the fuck? And it probably does, actually. What the fuck is wrong with our lives right now? They suck, and they're sitting ahead of us. We are better than them. We know we're better than them, and they're ahead of us because we're playing like dickheads. All these other teams who just keep, right now, other than the very top of the Premier League, there's so much mediocrity to the league right now.
Absolutely.
And that is the only explanation for the fact that I'll tell you who immediately came to my mind when I heard Spain was Atletico.
Yes. That's We're on the same page.
That said, I could... Right now, the way they're playing up front, I don't know why maybe Real wouldn't take a shot at him. If you bring him in as a super sub, and he understands where he's coming from, this is still Zlatan, who believes he should play for the biggest teams in the world. That is one team that he didn't play for. And you take into effect that he played a year for Barcelona and was not a happy camper at Barcelona. Mainly the guy fucking hates Pep, which is just another reason me and him get along so well and we're best friends. I think he wouldn't have any problem going to somewhere like Real and be like, I will go fuck with Barca.
Sure.
You get the chance to go up against Messi, and that can happen anywhere. But to me, I think he ends up in Madrid because he's not coming back to play for España.
No.
Or
Villarreal, everyone.
Villarreal, or he's not coming back to play for Granada.
Right.
He's coming back to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world. Somebody's going to still pay him a decent wage here.
Sure.
I mean, he's still going to come in and pick up a big wage. Not Neymar money by any means, but he's going to make good money over there. So it's not going to be one of these small clubs. So if he's saying he's going to Spain, I mean, that's who I can see. It's got to be one of the big teams. And I think Atletico or Real. And I would much more lean toward Atletico. I'm just saying I could see where Real maybe.
Yeah.
Right now Real's having they're having some issues.
Yeah.
But that might be something and I don't know the relationship between him and Zizou.
Yeah.
But, hey, if there's a good relationship there, it could be something where he brings him in because, hey, this is the guy in the locker room who's on my side. Let's see that happen. Whatever it is, we'll wait till January. But, golly almighty, can you imagine getting ready to break out those new, fresh print Zlatan jerseys?
Oh, my God. Chef's kiss.
Oh, I want him back. I want him back.
Well, we will see where Zlatan ends up because it will be Zlatan's decision, as all is. Let's hit the news and notes. Wes, what are you watching in the week that was or the week that will be?
I'm getting so close to the end of Breaking Bad.
Yay!
I am in the stretch run, and then I can watch El Camino.
So you haven't hit Ozymandias yet?
Do I?
I think that's the next last episode of Breaking Bad.
I haven't got there. I think I'm at episode 9 of the last season.
Okay.
There's 16. There turns out there's 16 episodes at the end of the season. So I'm looking to hopefully maybe finish it this weekend.
Okay.
So, and then watch El Camino. Watching that. November is a magnificent movie month. There are a ton of good movies coming out in November.
Really?
The one I'm immediately looking forward to is actually the remake of Midway. It comes out on November the 8th. I'm trying to pull up November movies real quick, but I just know there's a lot of them out there. Here we go. Terminator Dark Fate.
Yeah.
That's actually on right now.
I heard that was okay.
It's fine. I want to find November movie releases. Here we go. Movie Phone. Help me out. I don't have to call your ass anymore. So, but there's a lot of good stuff coming out. Terminator. The Harriet Tubman biopic movie is coming out November 1st. Ford vs. Ferrari comes out this month. I saw a commercial for that, yeah. Dr. Sleep comes out this month. Knives Out comes out this month. Midway, Motherless Brooklyn, which I'm really looking forward to. Motherless Brooklyn. Ed Norton, kind of like a noir movie. Let me see, 21 Bridges comes out this month. And, I mean, just to top everything off, Frozen 2 comes out this month.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, that's November 22nd. I mean, I have a daughter. What else do you expect me to do in this world, folks? I've got to take her to see Frozen 2.
Frozen 2 looks scary.
I kind of see it myself. So here we go. If you give a shit about this, which I don't, Charlie's Angels, another remake comes out.
I do not care.
An interesting little flick if I had a chick to take in my flick with. That's another story.
Listen.
Last Christmas. Actually, looks like a pretty good little date movie.
Which was Last Christmas?
Coming out. The girl's got some sort of issues.
Okay.
Man, yeah, that's a girl.
Let's see on the details. What do we got here? Kate harumphs around London, a bundle of bad decisions accompanied by the jangle of bells on her shoes, another irritating consequence from her job as an elf in a year-round Christmas shop. Tom seems too good to be true when he walks into her life and starts to see through so many of Kate's barriers. As London transforms into the most wonderful time of the year, nothing should work for these two. But sometimes you gotta let the snow fall where it may, you gotta listen to your heart, and you gotta have faith.
God, did they just they hit Tom Petty, they hit George Michael, and they hit the League Cup.
Jesus.
It's the most wonderful time of the year in London.
This sounds like the most Hallmark movie that has ever existed.
But it's got a little more edge than a Hallmark movie.
I hope so.
Trust me, I work with women. I'm gonna be forced into the damn Hallmark movies. It's pretty horrible. And also, folks, if you really want to go hard, Playing with Fire, starring John Cena. And Key from Key and Peele, who's in pretty much everything. Here's one for you. It looks like Princess Mononoke. Mononoke. Of course, you knew how to say it.
Of course I did.
Shakira in concert at El Dorado comes out this month.
Mm-hmm.
John Fogerty's 50-year trip. I mean, dude, this is a hell of a month for movies. It really is. November is big time. And if you want to catch something still in the theater, Zombieland Double Tap just came out.
I kind of wanted to see that.
I still got to see that.
Yeah.
I heard Maleficent, Mistress of Evil was really good.
Really?
Not really my movie. My daughter and her mom went and saw it, and they absolutely loved it. I didn't care that much for the first one, but it was a bad movie. It just didn't really tickle my fancy. As we said, Terminator is out or coming out. I think Terminator's already out, maybe. Joker's still in movie theaters. I still want to try to get in and see Joker one more time before it goes out. But that's still going strong right now. I mean, right now, the movies are just thick and furious and hard and heavy and everything in between.
Fast and Furious with no Fast and Furious.
I'm sure somewhere you can still find Hobbs and Shaw on some screen.
That's fair.
Black and Blues just come out. I heard that was pretty good. Gemini Man, still I don't know if you want to watch most ones. I've heard about the current war, but I don't know everything about it. But I heard it was pretty good. I'm really, out of all those this month, though, I think my undercover one that I really want to see, Motherless Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw the commercial for that last night during the World Series.
Yes,
that looked pretty good.
Edward Norton, a lonely private detective afflicted with Tourette's, tries to solve the murder of his mentor and only friend, Mr. Bruce Willis.
How are we going to get Edward Norton an Oscar?
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
Tourette's.
Edward Norton, Bruce Willis, and Willem Dafoe are in this movie.
And Alec Baldwin.
Holy shit. And Leslie Mann. I mean, that's a good...
Isn't this a Netflix movie?
No! There is a Netflix movie out, though. The Irishman. It's like a De Niro. Scorsese.
Yeah.
It's De Niro and Scorsese and Pacino's in it. Oh, shit, yeah, I gotta watch that one. Man, I'm glad you reminded me of that.
Here you go.
Thank you, Ed.
You're very welcome.
I sent you a picture of a t-shirt from the mall.
Oh, thank you. Can't wait to get it.
No, remember yesterday, the dog?
Oh, yeah, Cowboy Bebop.
Weren't you all about that shit?
Oh, I love Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
Like I said, I really need to go back and watch the second half of that series.
Well, all right then.
It's only 25 episodes.
The dog made me think of Cheddar.
He's an adorable dog. It's an adorable dog. Cowboy Bebop is great. Anime is great. Anime is real. Thank you, Brendan Williams. 1 second before you get to that. Silicon Valley has started back its final season on HBO. I'm excited to dive back into that one more time. And we'll see how Pied Piper can be just almost destroyed and then restored. What you got?
Your beloved The Good Place?
Yes.
So my mom apparently picked up, it's like the modern day TV Guide or whatever. Mm-hmm. Whatever. But the cover was the 100 shows that defined the decade.
Oh, okay.
It's this decade, 2010 through 2019. Your show, The Good Place, was number 7, I believe, on that list.
Sounds about right.
Just extremely well acclaimed all around. I know this has been one you've been on since it started. So I just wanted to throw you
4 seasons.
A few congratulations out there on jumping on that one early.
Dude, when you say Kristen Bell, Ted Danson, and the guy who made Parks and Rec.
It's still one I've never watched, but it's kind of one of those, you know how I am. Mm-hmm. Once I miss a few seasons of something, I'm like, I'm just waiting. I'll wait for the whole thing.
Wait, binge.
And I'll wait for the whole thing. I'll wait. That's why I do with Parks and Rec. which, God, I hate myself for waiting so long on Parks and Rec. But, I will give it to you. Your recommendations over the years, Green.
To be fair, I also had a similar problem. I waited too long on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, yeah.
Andy Samberg drove me away. And I was stupid.
That was me giving you Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yes, it was. Like, dude, you need to watch this. Dude, you need to watch this. You're like, I don't like Andy Samberg. I'm like, no, you need to watch this. And now, I mean, how can we live without Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
We can't.
And Captain Raymond Holt, who, I think out of that whole show, how is Raymond Holt just not everybody's favorite character?
I don't know, actually, if he's ever... Like, I don't...
I know he's not. I'm just saying...
No, but not even because he's not great. I just think there's too much greatness.
That is a great show.
There's Terry. There's Charles. There's Rosa.
By the way, in the 911 center... between me and another associate in there, our favorite thing to do is when we can't pronounce a name, I just look at her and say, no, it's pronounced Nicolaj. And she says, no, it's pronounced Nicolaj.
Nicolaj.
And we'll just go back and forth saying Nicolaj. Damn it, what's wrong with you? It's Nicolaj. That's like one of our favorite little
Oh, that's great. That's such a great banter.
And also we enjoy looking at each other's plate and I'm like, I see you have some rice. Is that Kevin's famous rice?
This show's so good.
Oh, this is so good.
Now, Wes, tell us about the WWE.
Well, no, it's not as good as Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Hey.
Nothing against you, Crown Jewel. I mean, you're not Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but
all I know about Raw this week is that a table got almost destroyed or did get destroyed, and all I've seen is the picture of Jerry Lawler and the play-by-play guy looking very concerned, and one Dio Madden just kind of looking from over his shoulder like, really?
Everyone's like, I give a shit. So
really?
Dio Madden's there.
It's great.
Dio Madden / Brandon Williams / Great Black Otaku.
We love him. We still love him. But go ahead.
Anime is real. You got me saying it. I don't even believe in anime. Anime is real. Something about getting so woolly. Can't remember what you made me tell him that time.
No, he's better woolly. He stole Woolly's name. That's the thing. Madden is Woolly's last name. He stole his name.
Folks, I still, after like a couple of years, I haven't figured out who Woolly is yet. But they keep saying he stole his name and he's the best Woolly, so it's all good.
He is.
I'm down, man. Whatever.
Go ahead.
Crown Jewel is this week, and that's what we're going to kind of hit on. We've got some really big names. And WWE, we were kind of made our little Saudi Arabia comment earlier. It's like, so we can kill journalists.
Yeah.
Again. Okay. WWE is trying to break down a few little walls in the Middle East. This is something they've been doing since they've gone over there. And this time we're going to have the first ever women's match in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Of course, a very different culture for females in that country. In that part of the world that we know of, and we've seen Alexa Bliss has worked over there. Her and Sasha Banks.
Yes,
they had to basically wear full body suits when they did it. Did not have to wear anything around their heads, but that was groundbreaking. They did that. That was in Kuwait or it was somewhere there. It was not in Saudi Arabia. But Lacey Evans and Natalya are going to have the first ever WWE women's match in Saudi Arabia. That's been a feud that's been going on for a while, so they're going to hook up there. Take a look. You're going to have a 20-man battle royal for a shot at AJ Styles' U.S. Championship.
Okay.
Battle royal is battle royal, and then that person who wins that will turn around and face AJ Styles that night. So we don't know yet who AJ is going to be defending against. Let's see who else we have before I kind of hit the big matches. We've got a Team Hogan versus Team Flair 5-on-5 match that they've been building up. It's like me and my dad turned it on the other night for a few minutes, and my mom was sitting there and she said, "Is this a rerun?" I said, "No." She said, "Then why is Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair there? They're old." I'm like, "Yeah, they're like y'all's age." My dad said, "Man, he's old." I'm like, "Yeah, only a couple years older than you." They ain't so old then. Team Hogan, they are the good guys. Roman Reigns, Ricochet, Rusev, Ali, and Shorty G.
Shorty G.
That's me.
Okay.
They're a tag team. Versus Team Flair, Randy Orton, King Corbin, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre. Rusev and Bobby Lashley have been having a feud recently over Rusev's real-life wife, Lana.
Oh.
I'm 99.9% in that this is obviously a work that they're doing. But Lana has dropped the accent and is dating on screen Bobby Lashley. And basically they're throwing it in Rusev's face that she is leaving him for a real man. It's kind of been a little uncomfortable at times. Like when she's making out with Bobby Lashley and her husband's like standing 5 feet away. And now, don't get me wrong, Rusev has this amazing look going right now. He has a wonderful haircut, is just sporting a beautiful mustache. No beard, no long hair like he's had in the past. He's looking very, very chic, very GQ, very Rusev. I've kind of enjoyed it when I've seen it. Drew McIntyre and Ricochet have been going back and forth. Randy Orton. You got Orton, you got Corbin, you got Shinsuke against Reigns. I don't really know the Alley and Shorty G. Sorry. But it is kind of fun. Seeing Hogan and Flair with those interactions with each other has been interesting. Now for the three matches that are kind of highlighting the show, we'll start off the Universal Championship. Seth Rollins versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt.
Okay.
As I told you, one of the worst endings I've ever seen to a match at Hell in a Cell. As I say here, fans were none too pleased with the finish of their Hell in a Cell bout, so it'll be interesting to see what WWE does for a result, considering it would not make any sense to put the title on Wyatt at this juncture. Right now, Seth Rollins, who, as you know, since this show started, I'm a huge Seth Rollins fan. Seth Rollins has kind of gone from internet darling to Seth Rollins, which, I mean, to me, I'm kind of like, I personally think the Rollins character is getting a little stale as a good guy. Rollins can have his face runs. And I'm sure you remember, I love Seth Rollins, the heel.
Oh, yeah.
Seth Rollins as a heel was that was his best work. He was next level as a heel.
Right.
I would almost like to see if maybe we can get back to that.
Okay.
And maybe this Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt's like the heel who everybody loves. Maybe that can get us back to something. I don't know. We'll see. I personally am much more interested in Seth Rollins as a heel champion than as a face champion.
Okay.
Two, I guess, special attraction matches we have. One, Braun Strowman, the Monster of Men, taking on Tyson Fury.
Oh.
Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury, one of the top heavyweight boxers in the world, is just a mountain of a man. This is being used as an effort to help promote his upcoming rematch with WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder. Okay. But Fury is a guy who does have some cachet with more of the casual combat sports fans. Right. And not only that, but he can actually look Braun Strowman in the eye. He's 6'8", 6'9", just a huge monster of a heavyweight boxer. Interesting. And Tyson Fury has that kind of wrestling mentality when it comes to promoting himself. He's very flamboyant, and they've had a really nice program leading up to this. Okay. And then the match, this is the one that I think a lot of people have their eyes on. WWE Championship. I'm trying to figure out for the life of me how this is going to work out. Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez, the last time these two met in a ring, they met in the Octagon, and Cain Velasquez left Brock Lesnar looking like hamburger. I mean, he decimated Brock Lesnar. This was back when Brock was like in his prime, like the baddest man in UFC. Cain Velasquez just mauled Brock Lesnar in real life. They brought this in as Velasquez being like the guy who can stand up to Brock Lesnar, the bully. Velasquez has some wrestling background. He did wrestle in AAA. He has signed a multi-year deal with WWE, so this isn't just a one-off. Right. And I mean, obviously, this is where you drop Velasquez in as a hot start because they have this history and because it works at the moment. It's just, to me, man, when I have seen Cain Velasquez work, it looks terrible. That's not good. And the thing with Brock Lesnar is not the lead you through a match guy. Right. Brock Lesnar is great when he's taking on Seth Rollins or AJ Styles or, one of the Undertaker, one of those guys who can take him through the match and shine him up and just let him do his beast murder things. Brock is not a guy who's going to lead the match. Yeah. It's just not him.
Not a ton of charisma.
No, I mean, he has charisma when other guys are really making him look good. When he's got to be the one to lead a match, I do not have the highest of hopes for this match. I want to know. I mean, Cain Velasquez is just one of those. Brock has some of those big power moves. Mm-hmm. Plus, he has that UFC ground and pound, but he will also German suplex you a dozen times. That's part of his shtick. Cain Velasquez, all I've seen him do is just wrestle you to the ground and just start pummeling people. I mean, that's just not exactly
interesting
WWE style. Yeah. I mean, that's a very UFC style. I'm interested to see what happens. I mean, this is one, I might, considering the fact I'll actually be off work when it's on tomorrow, I might flip it on when I go to the gym or something and just kind of take a look, see what's going on. Maybe it'll be one I try to catch before the end of the weekend's over. But, I mean, it should be a good card. They usually bring a good card out there. So, kind of excited to see what happens. By the way, there's Rusev's look right now. Just magnificent.
It's very nice.
It's gorgeous, man.
I will say that feels like the most Vince McMahon mandated storyline
This
ever.
Is so Vince. This is so Vince. I mean, this is like, we can get a big name. Let's do it. So, okay.
Make out with his wife.
And did I mention that Bobby Lashley's like this large, completely jacked up, jet black man? So you've got this whole, oh man. I mean, there's so many things. 30 years ago in the South, this would have been the most heat-seekingest program of all time.
So Vince.
I mean, it's he's big and Nubian and gorgeous. Let's put him with this beautiful blue-eyed blonde. Oh, we're going to put her Bulgarian husband in the middle. Oh, look at those puppies.
The depressing thing is none of this sounds out of character.
I'm not making any of this up. That's the problem. I almost wish I was. Let's see if I can find you a picture of what's going on here. Lana. Yeah. Oh, here they are together. There's Lana and Bobby. You tell me that ain't getting some heat.
Yep.
Tell me that ain't heat seeking. And doing it with her real life husband that everybody knows about. Yeah, it's Lana. It's Lana. Lana's great. Don't get me wrong. Love me some Lana. Have loved Lana for a long time.
Oh, yes.
It's just, where are we going with this?
It's very, very interesting. Yes.
Oh, and here we go. There was the moment we got the kissy, kissy, switchy, switchy, and Rusev's just devastated. Oh, no, my wife. What is happening?
What?
Yeah. This is what we've kind of been subjected with the last month. How fake did that look? Oh, my God. I'm showing Ed Green Instagram wrestling right now. So.
Oh, this is so bad. This is the worst.
Did you throw the leg on it? That was nice.
This is the worst it's ever been.
Oh, man.
Oh. All right. We're done.
Once again, can you imagine that in the South back in the 80s? God. Oh, jeez, it would have been.
I didn't even do our sponsors. So guess what? As always, our Foreign Affair podcast is presented by NGSC Sports, NGSports.com. We never stop. Please, Vince, stop this. This is stupid. As well as Alicia's Pills and Things. Hey, Rusev, if you need a body pillow to cry on, I'm sure she can make you a Lana body pillow.
You think Alicia can put me on a pillow to send to Okinawa?
Probably. For reals, actually.
I need to talk to Alicia.
There you go. So go check her out on Facebook. It's Alicia's Pills and Things on Facebook. Big thanks to them for being podcast presenters. As always, you can find them on social media. On Twitter, as a collective, we at the AFA Pod are at AFA Pod. Wes, you are?
I'm at Wes Bradshaw 21.
Thank you. I am at Edward Green. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube via our parent show, The All New Sports Show. You can email us at allnewsportshow@gmail.com. Lastly, thank you to our podcast providers, including Podbean.com, Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, the TuneIn Radio app, Google Play Music, in the iTunes Music Store. We'll be back next week.
Yes, this is actually my night week, and I took the night off, so just to come and do this. The only reason I took a night off.
There you go.
So you'll actually have us for the next about the next month, I guess.
Well, damn. There you go. So we will be back to you next week with more from the Premier League. Is next week a Champions League week?
I can tell you super fast because I have Liverpool. Yeah, I think we played Genk.
Yeah, because it was like week on, week off, week on. Yeah, so there you go. Champions League week. We'll be going back over that. It's a big week of the Champions League. Starts the second round robin, so that'll be going on. And we'll have the League Cup draw as well as the Astros go up 2-0. So before we get out of here, Wes, anything else you'd like to add?
This is basically high school football time for us.
Yes, it is.
Penultimate week of high school football season.
Good use of penultimate.
In the regular season.
I mean, that's time.
And just to throw this out here, just to give you an update from last week, as we talked about potentially Southern Nash, Rocky Mount playing for the Big East title this week. Southern Nash took care of business, as that's what they do. Rocky Mount was down 7-0 to Fike the entire game, scored under 2 minutes, converted the 2-point conversion, escaped as Fike missed a field goal as time expired. Rocky Mount stays undefeated in the Big East, an 8-7 win.
Fike scored too early.
They scored. That was their problem.
Yeah.
Rocky Mount and Southern Nash this week, both 4-0 in the Big East. 3-0. Both 3-0 in the Big East.
Yeah.
And this is basically a de facto playoff for it. So, big time. Tarboro just rolls on as Tarboro does. If in the Eastern Plains Conference,
yes,
we have a chance this week if both Bedingfield and Southwest Edgecombe win, which they both should. They will play in the last week of the regular season for the Eastern Plains Conference title.
That's a big one.
So a lot to do around good old Eastern North Carolina right now. This week in college football, Georgia, Florida's this week.
Ooh, cocktail party.
And also that's basically de facto SEC East.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're both sitting with one loss in the SEC.
Okay.
Florida's coming on the road to LSU. Georgia's somehow coming to fucking South Carolina.
It's Georgia. There's got to be one.
So the winner of that is pretty much winning the SEC East. Granted, they don't turn around and shit their pants.
It's Georgia.
Georgia. And they do still play Auburn. But if Georgia can beat Florida, even if they lose to Auburn, they would win the head-to-head.
Yeah.
So, there is that chance. But, man, it is all pointing toward next week in college football. As the now number one in the country, Louisiana State University Tigers take on Alabama. Guess what? CBS is definitely going to do that as a night game.
No, they're not.
They're not? I
No.
It was a night game next week.
No, it's a night game, but it's on ESPN.
Oh,
CBS
God,
picked something
CBS
up.
already screwed up and did something. What did they do?
I read an article about this.
Was it?
I remember this.
Was it when they did Georgia Notre Dame? No. Maybe. Yes. No.
Alabama.
Oh my gosh! I mean, that's got to be a night game.
Not on CBS.
Look at that.
Let's see. Oh no! Here we go. Maybe this is it.
Oh no! It's just a fucking 3:30 game.
Yeah, it's a 3:30 game.
Oh God! What did you do, CBS? How did you ruin this? Oh
yeah. It's not. A night
and
game.
It's actually where's it at? It is. Oh my gosh! Oh, okay, it's at Alabama, so that makes sense. I was gonna say if it was a Tiger Stadium and we weren't getting a night game, that would be the travesty of all travesties. God, what a weekend! LSU, Alabama, and then the next day, Liverpool, Man City. It's basically LSU, Alabama twice.
Yeah. I expect similar scores.
I'm all in on that weekend. I have no kid. I have no woman. Do have an on-call job, but it's usually not that big of a deal. So, man, I'm just settling in. I'm just going to settle in, Ed.
Don't let it sit in.
Gonna go lift some weights and come home and watch some ball, man.
Play FIFA.
That's going to be my life for the next 2 years. Lift some weights, watch some ball, play some FIFA.
There you go. What else? What more could you want?
Oh, I love my girl, man.
There you go. Oh, man, no, let's get out of here for this edition of the Foreign Affair Podcast.
I never knew my father.
26. He's Wes Bradshaw. I'm Edward Green. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you guys next week. As always, stay safe and enjoy the football.
Good night, Arsenal. Let it burn, Emery. Burn, burn, baby, burn.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad.
This show is sponsored by Alicia's Pillows and Things. Check out the Facebook page, Alicia's Pillows and Things, where you will find home decor you will not be able to resist at prices anybody can afford. Check out the pillows and stools of your favorite sports teams. Maybe you want a set of your kid's favorite cartoon or movie character. You can also get full body and neck pillows as well. Log on to ngscsports.com and go to the Alicia's Pillows and Things tab on the homepage to complete your order. It makes a great gift for Christmas at an affordable price. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.